road projects that need to be done. We have record funding for things like conservation, Florida Springs, our coastlines, all this stuff we've been able to do. So we're doing the things that make a difference in your life. We're vetoing, vetoing pork projects or whatever, but protecting taxpayers, holding the line overall on spending, but the money that we are spending, we're making an impact with, and that's really the way it should be done. And even amongst that, we got $500 million in the budget for accelerated debt repayment. So you now have, the state of Florida, the lowest per capita state debt in the entire United States of America. The U.S. The U.S. government obviously has a $34+ trillion debt. If you parcel that out amongst each American, that means each and every solitary American would owe over $100,000 a pop. If you parceled out Florida state debt, each Floridian, and it would never come to this, but each Floridian would owe about $600. So that's a much bigger, different picture that we're dealing with. So we're happy with that, but we got $500 million to retire debt even more rapidly. So even before that goes into effect, we've retired 36% of the state's taxpayer-supported debt. That's from the entire history of Florida till the present. We've knocked out 36% of it. That $500 million will let us do even more, and that is saving tens of millions of dollars in interest payments for taxpayers on these bonds and whatnot. So it's good management, and we're proud of that. So it's a good budget, but then within that, we got over $80 million across various agencies for veterans initiatives in the state of Florida, workforce preparation, medical assistance, education opportunities, helping homeless veterans get in a stable situation, as well as legal services for veterans. We also have $17 million in additional funding for the Florida Department of Veteran Affairs to do, among other things, provide dental care for low-income veterans, 6 new veterans claims examiners to assist veterans in obtaining the federal benefits that they're owed. I mean, how crazy is this that the state has to hire people to help veterans get their federal benefits? But that's the federal government that we have for you. Assisting veterans in translating their military experience to meet state licensure requirements to ease the transition into civilian life. Also money to support equipment and capital improvements at veterans' homes across the state, and to begin building a new veterans long-term care facility in Collier County upon approval of a federal grant. So that's a really significant win for the department. And I'm pleased to announce that with the addition of the Collier County State Veterans Nursing Home, Florida will have the most state veterans nursing homes in the entire United States of America. So we're doing it. Which brings us why we're here today. And we've got two really good bills. The first bill that I'm going to sign is House Bill 725. And you're going to hear a minute of story here about why this is necessary. But what it does is it expands the eligibility for admissions to a veteran's long-term care facility to include spouses and surviving spouses of qualifying veterans. You have situations where veteran has been separated effectively from the spouse because the spouse is not eligible to be in a veteran's nursing home. We have changed that with this piece of legislation. First of all, it's just the right thing to do. When you have a surviving veteran and the spouse, we want to keep them together. But even when the veteran unfortunately passes on, we recognize that that spouse has also served, and that spouse deserves our support as well. Not really swearing an oath, but it's kind of an implicit oath that they take to do what they can to help the veteran. So we think that this is something that's appropriate. I'm not sure how many other states do this. Do you know how many? Just a very few states. So we're on the vanguard yet again on that. But this is important. There's valuable care that's provided at our veterans nursing homes. We have a bunch of services all the way down to hospice care. And we want to make sure that families are kept together, spouses are kept together. So you'll hear a little bit more about that in a second. I'm also signing HB 1329, which revises existing programs and expands benefits for folks here in Florida. And these are programs, many of which are designed to help the veteran transition to civilian life. And so we've done a lot of good work in this area. This is going to make it even better. Some of it will be marketing, some of it will be providing awareness, some will be providing outreach, but I think that once people know that they have these tools at their disposal, there's a lot that can be done at that point. Now, and what we want to do too is help veterans get to preferred markets, preferred industries, because there's a lot going on in the state of Florida, I can tell you that. I mean, I remember when Pasco County, I mean, I grew up in Pinellas County. Pasco County was considered rural. Now you've got, I mean, like, how many people live in Pasco County now? It's incredible. So, and you're seeing that all over. I ran into somebody that grew up in Polk County, you know, and that was viewed as very rural. They got over 800,000 people now in Polk County. I mean, like, this is just what's happening to the state. So there's a lot of opportunities, and we want to make sure that we're helping the veteran realize those opportunities, training programs, what have you. Now, the bill also provides free hunting, fishing, freshwater and saltwater fishing licenses to all disabled veterans. So you take that. We also create and fund the Major John Leroy Haynes Florida Veterans History Program within the Department of State's Division of Arts and Culture to record the stories of Florida's veterans and preserve them for future generations. When we had the 80th anniversary of D-Day, I announced, and we don't have very many surviving members. And we identified some in Florida. Most of them were going over to Normandy to do the ceremony, which is totally appropriate. And we said, when you get back, we're going to award all surviving D-Day veterans the Florida Medal of Merit, which is our highest honor for exceptional meritorious service to either the state or country. So, but we said, we're not going to do like a big ceremony in Tallahassee because it's hard to get around. It's a big state. So when we're in your area, you know, we will do. So, you know, we had a guy, a fella down in Miami the other day. We were able to present it to him. Signed up in the Navy in 1943. Is there in D-Day in 44, bringing the tanks ashore. Then he goes to the Philippines, then Japan, and did great service to the country. But you know, the connection to those folks has dwindled because most of them have passed on at this time. So really, it's up to us to make sure that future generations understand what it means. And I think that this program to record these stories and preserve them, I think is really, really important. And this bill even goes further with that. We are requiring in the state of Florida middle and high school students to receive instruction on the history of Veterans Day and on the history of Memorial Day, which is good. So, you know, it's like they say the U.S. is laboratory of the states are laboratories of democracy. So if you want the schools to be teaching first graders that they can switch genders, like, you know, California's got that covered. If you want schools teaching students, which we do, about the evils of communism, about what it means to be an American citizen, and about the history and the sacrifices that went into Memorial and Veterans Day, well, then Florida is the place for you. So I think we're doing it right, and I'm proud that we're able to